Hello, hello, and welcome back, everybody. Have a seat, why don't you? Back with your two favorite assholes in the South Coast. Of course, speaking of myself, Trav, and my intrepid co-host, the great and powerful, the vanilla gorilla himself, Mr. Joey fucking Fats.
Yes, sir. How's it going, man?
It's been going good.
Good is good.
I
Good is
had
really good.
I had the long weekend, thankfully, paid day off today
Nice.
too.
Oh yeah,
And
that's right. Today's, keep forgetting today's a holiday. Today's my regular day off, so I keep forgetting it's a holiday.
yeah, well, this is the first job I've had, I think, since it's become a state holiday where I've actually had it paid off. Because every
Nice.
other job I had was something where I was on call or like they just didn't recognize it.
Yeah. Fuck them. Those jobs suck.
Yeah, they do.
This job's cool.
Yeah, no, this one, yeah, they actually care about us. But no,
You
it
say
was.
that. You say that now. Give it a year. You know.
Well, so far so good is what I can say. It's better
That's
than
all
the
that
railroad.
matters. Yeah.
At least
It
the
could be
company I
worse.
worked for.
It could always be worse.
But yeah, I couldn't think of a better way to end this, to bookend this long weekend for myself at least, than by, yes, having another episode of the Adult Table with you, my friend.
Yes, it was. It's been good. We had last week off, and you know, it's good to be back.
Yeah, and you know what?
We missed a lot, but
In the grand scheme, I mean, not a whole lot. I mean, it was more of the same bullshit, really.
yeah, like we talked about before the show, like we could talk about the Kilmar Abreu Garcia case, and how Trump's just playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers again, and he's getting them to getting the Democrats to defend basically a 95-5 issue.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. What else happened last week? I mean, there was some other stuff we were going to touch on, but nothing like overly over the top crazy. But today we've got, I think we've got a pretty loaded table here tonight. No pun intended.
It's a pretty good spread, I gotta say.
Yeah.
All things considered, and
It's Easter-esque.
right.
Did you
And
live in one of those families that does Easter dinner?
I did, when my mom was still alive, yes, that was the thing. We did a clam boil. And she'd also
nice.
do the baked glazed ham. Like, yeah, she always went all out.
Yeah, my mother-in-law did a dinner for us yesterday. It was very good.
Nice.
I was very, very happy with it.
Oh,
And there was plenty of leftovers, so I've been snacking on those for the last, 18 hours.
yeah. Since you took it home with you, yeah.
Yeah, since I woke up from my nap yesterday afternoon after we got home because I had the itis so bad. And it just, you have turkey. It's like Thanksgiving, man. You eat all that food and you sit there and you're like, whoa, brother, I need a nap. And
Yes.
it probably didn't help that I was running on like 4 hours of sleep over,
Well,
3
that's
days.
like
either,
it's like eating barbecue
Yeah.
for me. Like, once you're over 40, even younger, even.
Well, barbecue's
You
a
gotta
different beast.
you gotta plan your day around that. It's like, well, that's gonna kill the rest of it. So that's gonna be like the last thing I plan to do because after that I am parked on a couch and napping.
Yeah, and it could be half hour, it could be 3 hours. I don't know, but I'm not putting a limit on it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. But we've got like I said, good topics tonight. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I think the best way to kick it off is because it's current and because we've touched on the subject before. But even
Not to the degree that we've wanted to, though.
no, we haven't done like a deep dive on it. And surprisingly, I didn't even really know much about this until last year. And I'm a true crime aficionado. It's just the stuff that I follow is more obscure.
Are you a crime junkie as well?
Yeah.
Well, I know there's the True Crime podcast, there's the Crime Junkie podcast.
Well, no, I don't listen to that podcast. I mean, in general.
Oh yeah, no, I was getting at the podcast. I know my wife is a big time fan of both.
Okay, yeah, no, I listen to other. Like Small Town Murder is my favorite, and they also do Crime and Sports. They're comedians who happen to talk about things that might be terrible sometimes.
Okay.
So it's a good blend of both things. And yeah, I actually saw them live in Medford in December, and it was an awesome live show. They, Jimmy and James are fucking amazing, super funny, very informative with the subject matter too.
It's the what do they call it? Edutainment.
I wouldn't call it educational because they're cursing the whole time. They're making fun of people, but they don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
But they're educating you on the case, which is important.
Yes. And yeah, they're not making anything up for the sake of entertainment value. Like these are the facts from the case files. They're presenting it in a humorous way.
And I find that you probably don't need to embellish most of these cases much, because if you're talking about them, they're usually pretty ridiculous off the bat. Like, just working in my line of work, some of the stuff that I've heard, like the stories I've heard, and the things I've seen, like, you're like, wait, that was real? And it's like, holy shit, that was real. You're like, there's no way this guy was hiding in the walls of a house, like, harassing kids and pretending to be their dead mom. It's like, nope, he was.
It totally was.
Yep. That's a true story, by the way. That happened right around here somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, the old, like wives' tale or urban legend of, oh, there's a man in the walls. It's like, well, yeah, because it happened at least once.
Yeah. So they didn't make it up off of nothing. Somebody did that, and they were like, I'm going to use that forever to scare kids.
Because it is legitimately scary.
I forget what if it's on Netflix. I forget what the name of it is, but there's like a crime special on there. But the guy's name, the guy who committed the murder, his name is Danny LaPlante, and it's he actually hid in the walls of this house for like weeks.
Yeah.
And like after this, like family's like mother died, and like they would like do like a Ouija board, and like they would be like, if you're here, give us a sign, and like
he was fucking with them. Yeah.
He would like knock 3 times, and they were like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? And then they found out that he was living in a crawl space like that ran between the walls. And they're like, what the fuck?
And dude, the way they found him was so pathetic too. He was just like curled up in the fetal position, like in between drywall and insulation, and more drywall.
And then after he committed the murder, and then he put on the guy's the woman he murdered's wedding dress, and it was a whole big thing.
Oh yeah, he went full like drama theater or theater kid aspect with it. Like acting like he was working in a haunted house. Like a Yeah, no, he was pretty wild. That was a pretty wild one. That's like one of the crazier ones, but that's a true story. It's on Netflix. It's not any like secret inside information or anything, but yeah, you usually don't have to embellish these things too much. So you could usually, the facts are usually more like heinous enough. It's like when South Park dropped like the whole Trump Garrison shtick, and they were just like, yeah, they're like, at this point, real life's just funnier than anything we can come up with. So fucking, we're not gonna do that anymore. Yeah, we didn't actually think he would win, and we kind of felt like we were we painted ourselves into a corner with him Garrison being this type of character now.
Right. Can't wait. July cannot come quick enough.
Oh, the preview looked fucking amazing.
And the best part is that preview is like none of that is going to be in the season probably. Like you might get like that. Those are probably like an eighth of like a half a second, like a half a scene. You know what I mean? Like they're just the what you're seeing in the preview is going to be so like non-existent throughout the season, because they always do that head fake with the previews, so that you don't.
Yeah, they show like the stuff that is like, oh shit, I know what that's referencing, and then like
but you have no idea what the whole episode's going to actually revolve around.
Yeah, you don't understand the context. Like we see Starvin Marvin flying through space,
getting chased by P. Diddy with a ball, like a super soaker full of lube for some reason. Like
it'll make sense once we see it. But
yeah. It's like what was the one I watched the other day? Oh, it was the IntelliLink one, and Ike gets Ike's getting steroids, and he wants to like fuck all the Yo Gabba Gabba characters, and they were like,
no, Fufa.
Yeah, Fufa, don't show your strange on TV. Shut up, Sinead O'Connor. Like that one, like everybody was like, oh yeah, man, you guys really gave it to the Obama, Obamacare website people, huh? And they were like, what? No. They're like, wait, that wasn't what you guys were making fun of? They're like, Nah, man, we were literally just making fun of these like things that like if you buy a really expensive house in California, they all come with it and they all suck. It's a really rich people problem. Sorry, guess you didn't get it.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, we're extremely rich.
Yeah, but like they didn't like, but everybody thought it was all like, you know, they always, everybody thinks like the episode's always about like this thing or that, and it's just nah, it's totally not that at all.
I mean, it can be open to interpretation, but just like with any piece of work or art that you anybody that creates it puts it out there. Now it's not yours anymore. Whether it be a song, a painting, a movie, and they're free to interpret it however they want. Yep. Your intent is your intent. Whether they got that out of it or not is completely up in the air.
Right, and actually irrelevant at that point. So
yeah, but yes.
Tis the struggle. But yes, anyway, back to the Crime Junkie podcast, or the Crime Junkie that you are. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep saying that Crime Junkie podcast, and my wife is infatuated with it.
But the ones that I listened to focus more on like more obscure things, and this was this only became a high profile thing after Turtle Boy kind of brought it to light, because it was known, but yes. And I don't agree with him like harassing people outside of the courthouse and the army of people that support Karen Read. Like, hey, you can be supportive of her all you want, but just leave the people involved in this shit alone. Like, it's not a good look.
Yeah, it's not a good look to stoop to their level. Or to stoop to that level, I should say, not their level in particular. But like
it's just that level in general.
It's just never a good look. But listen, it's funny because I don't know if you saw the most recent news. I think I don't know if he tweeted it or posted it or whatever, but Turtle Boy had I think like 50 of his Facebook pages shut down due to integrity issues.
I mean, a while ago. That's happened before with him, and that was before he was doing anything like this.
I just old school Turtle Boy when he just used to make fun of like
random
people in Florida, like Fall River.
Yeah.
Well,
humble beginnings. But it was because of him that this gained more traction within the state, and then it became a national thing. And now like last year during the trial, I had one of my coworkers. He's like, "Oh, are you following this?" I'm like, "I don't know anything about it." He's like, "Dude, you're always listening to the podcasts about like murder and like crime and shit. Like, how do you not?" I'm like, it just wasn't on my radar.
Like you of all people, I would expect to be like all in on this.
Exactly. But then it ended up being a mistrial the first time around, and we can get around to why that is. And so I'm caught up on everything. I watched the HBO documentary, which was fascinating because she was allowed that crew to film her during the trial.
See, to me, that's like almost like she knows that she's not going to be found guilty. So it's like, all right, how are we going to make the most money off of this after the fact to recoup all this money I'm spending on my defense? Because that shit ain't cheap. Like,
but
lawyers are not inexpensive.
Once I started paying attention and digging into what's going on, and then I watched the doc, which is a great synopsis of everything.
Yep.
It is very interesting because I have many friends in law enforcement. I have family members in law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all of them, and none of them are in the Boston area. I mean, not far from it, but pretty much all of them agree that there is bad corruption that's been happening there since the days of yore. Like, it's not a well-known, a very well-kept secret.
I don't know how anybody can look at this case, with a clear, objective mind and see anything but like a bunch of crooked cops trying to frame an innocent woman for, whatever reason this guy got killed. I don't know. Like that's I think the next part of this chapter that I'm more anxious to see because, like the way the whole Karen Read thing played out for me is like I watched it, like I saw Turtle Boy break it. I remember when he started, whatever, a year and a half ago, whatever it was, talking about how the case was, ridiculous. And everybody was like, "Oh, you're just simping out for her because she's hot and this and that." Which, like, don't get me wrong, like, she's not unattractive. I'm certainly not kicking her out of her bed. You know what I mean? So she has that going for her. Pretty privilege is a real thing. But I don't think that's why Turtle Boy got in it. I think he was doing it because he found a story that he could work with, and things didn't make sense. And when shit ain't adding up, you must be subtracting. So this, I remember when it broke, and then my wife actually got wicked into it, and she followed everything. I mean, she'd be like following his daily posts, which were like, I'm sure you remember them. They were like 50 fucking pages long. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, all right, like, I don't have time to go reading through all this shit.
Yeah.
So I got basically the Cliff Notes version of it. I watched the trial, like, or kept paying attention to the trial, watched most of it, kept pretty close tabs on it. But basically, from listening to Turtle Boy and some of his shows and his podcasts and some of the things that he was saying, I'm like, I had already had it in my mind made up that there was no way this woman did this. Like, just shit did not make sense to me. So for me, I've already established in my own head that she's innocent, that she didn't do it. Now what I'm waiting for is the who did. Because obviously she didn't. Somebody did. She didn't. And when you get into all like the factors of like, his Apple Watch saying that he like ascended and descended stairs at this time from this time, and then the woman Googling how long does it take to die in the cold, and then you know what I mean, like all the poo being removed, the dog bites, that went completely, just kind of got completely swept under the rug by the mainstream media.
His injuries being inconsistent by being hit by a car of that size.
Yeah, like one time you're gonna get hit by a car. One time like that is gonna break all those bones. Like, no.
Well,
sorry.
It's the placement of it too. It like there was no lower body. Like, I mean, if he was crouched down.
Yeah, I mean, if he was on his knees begging for her to come back, and she was like, "Fuck you,"
or he slipped on the ice because it was snowing.
Yeah, that's
like bad that night. It was snowing real bad.
It was snowing pretty good. But at the end of the day, too, like. In the snow, like, listen, you and I have driven tons of times in the snow, thousands even. Well, maybe not thousands, but hundreds. And, like, I know how hard it is to drive in the snow. I don't have the utmost confidence that I could reverse at 40 miles an hour in a blinding snowstorm and hit somebody with a car on purpose. And I'm a damn good driver. I mean, I'm borderline professional good driver. And I say that with absolutely no sarcasm whatsoever. I don't know if you know this about me, but I do have a racing simulator behind me, bro. Pretty big deal, okay?
I totally don't flip these cars.
Yeah, I totally never crash them every day. But the point, I don't even know if I could do that, or I don't know anybody that really could with any kind of accuracy and consistency. So this is either like a 1 in a billion shot that she just happened to make good on, or shit ain't adding up. And then you have the video of like, the guy going into the shop and like breaking the tail light and taking a chunk of it, like whatever it was. Like, there's so much shady shit that went on during the first trial and leading up to it that, like, I just don't understand how anyone could look at these facts that have been presented and be like, oh yeah, she did this.
Yep, and we did get a little ahead of ourselves in terms of like storyline, but for those that aren't fully informed. But just for a quick recap, she was out with her boyfriend, who was a Boston police officer. Everything seemed fine. They were supposed to go to another person who's involved in law enforcement. I forget specifically which branch, because the people that were there for the after party, one was ATF. One, I think, is Stady. And another is involved in the city work, something like that. It's different, tentacles of the octopus, basically. But they went there. He says he's gonna run in, and then she says she wants to leave. She takes off. She calls him a bunch of times later. She's mad, and then she goes out and looks for him.
And remember, one of the minor details too that might have something that is, that might be worth mentioning is that they had gotten into a fight at the bar. the two of them, Karen Reed and her boyfriend John. God, I can't remember his last name. I should probably know that, but
we should. Yeah, that's.
they got into a fight at the bar, an argument, not like a physical fight, but like an argument. And then she dropped them off at the house and left because they were fighting. So.
And there were like voicemails and texts that were evident of them being in an argument before then, like the day of, but before they went out.
Kids or something like that.
Yeah, it was like, is this going to work? If this isn't going to work, sort of thing. I mean, there was a lot more details involved on their personal.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a pretty heavy conversation to be having at that point. Like it seemed like a crux in their relationship. You know what I mean? Like a crossroads where. Are we doing this or are we not doing this? Because I got kids, you don't. Do you want to raise my kids? How's this going to work?
Yeah.
That can be a tough conversation to have with a girlfriend at that age. I get it.
And it does look suspicious in some ways on her end because of the inconsistencies in her story sometimes, and the fact that when they went back to look for him, she was the only one to like point him out under, probably like 3 to 4 inches of snow. It's strange, but it's also, the perfect alibi for somebody else to use against
John
her.
O'Keefe was his last name.
O'Keefe, that's right.
Yeah. Sorry. And I didn't realize Karen Reed was 5 years older than me either. I thought she was my age. She looks pretty good for 45.
She's like if I saw her out, she's like a 6.5 to 7.
Yeah,
but, I mean, just like in those fucked up messages that the one of the investigators, that got fired, because it was like, oh yeah, she's a babe, but no ass, and she's got a weird Fall River accent.
Yeah,
which I thought was hilarious. I'm like,
she's from Taunton, you jackass.
It's not that far from Fall River.
It really isn't, but it's different.
It is. Fall River's got the New York influence because of all the mill workers that came from New York, and a couple generations ago, and to this day, we got 40-something-year-old Fall Riverites saying coffee.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get a hot dog and a coffee with Donna and Paula.
Yeah. But I actually did laugh out loud when I saw that part in the documentary.
That was kind of funny. Like it doesn't get me wrong. Like some of the shit that they said, like I'm not remotely appalled by because I know how guys talk.
Yes.
I feel bad. I would feel bad for the guy for getting fired for saying all this shit if I didn't think they were actively trying to frame this woman and ruin her life. You know what I mean? Like this is just like. Some shit got out. The investigators were like, nah, she didn't do this. We don't know what you're talking about. But, all these like texts got out between the two of them. I'd be like, all right, come on, man. Like, there's going to be some professional privacy rules here. Like, something's going to kick in. That sucks. You can't lose your job over that. But because they're actively trying to frame this woman.
Yeah, and he's the lead investigator. He's calling her a cunt and saying all this other stuff.
My sympathy kind of goes out the window at that point.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, and then there's the evidence, the taillight. The glass wasn't found when they found the body and then, melted some snow. Right. And then had to stop. They didn't find any of the glass there then, but they did later. And then there's the issue of when they impounded her car and brought it into the garage there, the video image was reversed.
Yeah, it was mirrored.
Yeah, which is actually pretty obvious because there's a car right there with the letters and they're clearly reversed.
And you can read them in reverse, like why does it say Iluembla? Ambulance. Never mind.
And that was the side of the car, but that was the tail light in question. That side of the car, the rear right passenger side.
But they mirrored it to make it look like it was, the right side.
Side.
Yeah, see, look, it was the right side. That was, and again, that was so obvious. And I don't know how, I don't know how this shit just doesn't get this case thrown out because clearly they're manipulating the evidence. Clearly they're trying to, play fuck games with the jury. I just don't understand how anybody can look at this and objectively be like, yeah, this seems on the up and up. I mean, she probably did it, right? Like the lengths they're going to make like, and not even good lengths either. Like, how do you mirror that image and not notice that, like, oh, somebody might pick up on this, unless you already know the judge is going to just be like, nope, dismissed or overruled, whatever, you know. The defense is like, objection, Your Honor, the video is clearly altered. Overruled. Like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Well, and one big point that people that are that believe that she is guilty is that, well, if these other police officers or law enforcement people had him killed, why would they just dump him in the front of one of their own homes? Well, you know why they would? Because it is that fucking implausible. Like, because it makes it seem more like Karen did it. Like, why would I throw a body? Again, these are law enforcement people. They know the ins and outs. They know how the people that are going to be investigating think.
Yeah, they know how this is going to look.
So, it would be fucking stupid of me to leave the body out there if I killed him. Why would I dump him out in my front lawn? That is completely retarded. Like, yeah,
super retarded.
It because of plausible deniability. But that's exactly why it could also be them doing that. Like, I can't say that for sure, but that's how I feel.
That's why I'm anxious to get to the next phase of this case, which is the whodunit. Like, who actually did it and why? Like, and that's what I want to know. I want to know why they killed him. Not to get ahead of ourselves again, but I want to know why these guys, like, did this start off as just like a couple of dudes like roughhousing, and like it turned into a fight between, you know, the nephew there, the 17-year-old kid or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I get how, like, you know, the judge rules on this, and it's like, no, you can't drag him into it because, again, he's not on trial right now. Like Karen Read is. So the whole point of this trial is to prove that Karen Read didn't do it, not suggest or point fingers at who did. That comes later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like you said, that will be interesting. As long as she's found not guilty, or there's another mistrial, and that should end it for her. Let's see what transpires after this, because now this opens up them actually digging deeper into what's been going on for God knows how long there.
And where does Auntie Bev, the judge, sit in on this too? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how involved is she, or how involved does she have to be in order for her to be, you know, basically covering for these cops at this point? Like, I don't know how, like, why again? That's incredibly obvious what's going on, and yet nobody seems, outside the Turtle Boy, nobody really seems to be asking those questions.
Well, yeah, nobody in the mainstream. It'll all be people like Turtle Boy or like the podcast that I listen to that run independently. You know, they don't have to worry about anybody saying, "Hey, no, you can't say that." So
right. It's like somebody trying to tell us what to talk about. You're funny.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. We're gonna pull your sponsor. We're gonna pull your funding. Oh, you are you? You're so cute. You think we have funding?
Oh, if we did, I can't imagine what they would be. Probably like a gas station dick pills.
Gas station dick pills. You know, probably some like terrible candy like licorice.
Yeah.
Circus
peanuts.
Yeah, some like the Mega Superstore in Fall Somerset or something. They'd be like, yeah, whatever, guys.
Yeah, you're all right.
Yeah, you're all right. We'll give you some hats and shit. I'm like, cool. Sign it up. It's like, we'll work for bits of string.
Yeah. Because one day I will form a ball of bits of string so large it will overthrow the government.
Yeah. But like this case is like, I swear to God, dude, like if I was the prosecutors in this case, like I honestly feel like for them to have gotten like because the way you look at everything, it's so sloppy, it's so poorly done. You know the judge is in their back pocket. You know they have the whole weight of the state police, the local authorities, like, and God knows who else behind them.
And it's
and
pretty
yet they're out there. Yeah, and yet they're out there like fucking this up like they're Lionel Hutz. You know what I mean? Like it just I can't imagine like how they fumbled this so bad to the point where they got a mistrial on the first one without, you know what I mean? Like how did you not like, you know, how do you not, like I said, how do you not like notice that mirrored video is going to show up, like it's going to stick out like a spread thumb? Like how do you not know like all these text messages about how long does it take to die in snow, all this stuff that Turtle Boy exposed, I mean, really threw a wrench into their project. Yet it seems still pretty, like it's still a very uphill battle for Karen Read.
It is.
It feels that way.
Well, in a way, I mean, and that brings me to my other point. As much as I am on her side, she is more smug than O.J. Simpson was during his trial. She is, like, making faces at the jury. She's hamming it up with people outside. And I get it to an extent because she knows she's innocent. And I believe that she is. But she is really playing into it, and it's a little cringe.
I can't say I wouldn't though, because if I was in that position and I was innocent and I basically knew I was going to win this thing at this point, like I don't see how she loses. You know what I mean? At this point, like unless the jury is 100% in on it and rigged, you know, which I mean, I guess I can't really put past anything, you know, put anything past it, but to get,
you never know who those 12 people are.
You really don't. But to get 12 people to agree on something seems pretty fucking hard to do these days.
Well, they couldn't the first time.
Right. And I just think it's she probably has a pretty overwhelming sense of like, yeah, this is going to go my way. This is all going to be for naught. And I think she's doing it, you know, not only because, but the thing is like, I don't know. I feel like if you're showing up the cops at this point and you're showing up the prosecution, the state, the judge.
That's what I'm getting at. It's not just a fuck you, I'm innocent. And I get it because they dragged her name through the mud. They said terrible things about her. So I get it on the personal level, like the out of spite, like fuck you.
I mean,
but on the other hand, you're on trial for worst case scenario, first degree. Second worst scenario, involuntary manslaughter or homicide, like second degree murder. Granted, Massachusetts doesn't have the death penalty, but still, like, that's going to make a difference in Senate when it comes to Senate.
I think isn't vehicular manslaughter, even if it's second degree or involuntary, I think it still carries a 10-year minimum, doesn't it?
I'm
pretty sure.
Something like that.
I know OUI does. But I'm not sure about just vehicular manslaughter.
It depends on the circumstances. But yeah, granted, usually, the second is a plea deal.
I'm just curious what it carries. Crime. So if they find it's a felony, it's 2.5 to 15 years in state prison. If it's a misdemeanor, it can be fines or up to 2.5 years.
But yeah, what they're trying to determine here is whether it was intentional, which would make it first degree murder.
Well, that would be
by way of vehicle.
Yeah, I don't know how you can prove that. Again, I don't know. This whole case is baffling because to me, it's like
there is no way for them to prove that specifically.
Right, you can't prove intent unless you have some sort of like a confession, really, at this point, because none of the evidence suggests that there's any type of intent.
So, the argument for the prosecution there would be, they got into a fight earlier that night, and earlier in that day or the day leading up to it, but that doesn't mean intent. That's not intent.
That still doesn't qualify as intent. Not at least.
She didn't text him, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Right. Unless she texted me like, "I'm gonna run this motherfucker over right now," and then did. But then again, that would be the smoking gun, and we wouldn't be here talking about this case if they had that. So we know they don't have anything along those lines. Otherwise, this would have been pretty open and shut, whether it was intentional or not,
Yeah.
so to speak. So I don't know. I just think it's fascinating to me. But I get your point, like about the whole like hamming it up thing and like the smugness of it. But it's it's I gotta put myself in her shoes. Like you're fighting against the powers and the powers in the shadows, the people that lurk, that are just there with cloak and dagger, waiting to take you out whenever you step out of line. And it's like, damn, dude, like I joked with one of my buddies, who's a state trooper, and he said something, and I was just like, man, fuck you! Don't you have innocent women to go frame? Like, you know what I mean? And like, he kind of chuckled about it, but not really. He was like sensitive subject, bro. Like a little too close to home. And a couple of my trooper friends that I've talked to, they're like, they don't think she did it. But then again, they have to like kind of toe the company line too, like.
Yeah.
Can't really say it was one of ours, but I'm like, dude, it's like, and then but all the people that think she did it are basically state troopers, or related to one. And I'm like, guys, like you're not fooling anybody. Like we all know she didn't do this. Like, I get it. You got to play the part, okay? Brotherhood and all that
solidarity.
But we stand together because one chink in our armor and the whole thing falls, and it's like. Yeah, we
and that's why
we know how Phalanx works. Leonidas, we watch 300. Okay, like.
Well, and that's why if this develops further past this, and they dig deeper into the other people involved, and not Karen Read, then yeah, that chink in the armor is now making the rest of it fall apart.
Yeah, you're going way of the Yamamoto, my brother. That's what I want to see. Like I want to see the back half of this thing, because like God forbid, like Turtle Boy is he's already experienced it. He spent 30 days in jail on some trumped up bullshit.
Yep.
And he came out and was like, yeah, man, he's like, I was treated really well in there. Like I really can't complain. Like they treated me really well, with respect. A lot of guys said that they believed in what I was doing and this and that. I don't know where he was housed. It wasn't state. I know that. But I don't know where. But I know his account. You can listen to his words on it. You don't take my word for it. But he's already feeling the backlash of it. Like God forbid. Like I feel bad for Karen Read if she gets off. Like bitch, you better not have that fucking registration. Better not be a day past due. Like you better have like your inspection sticker better be done the first of the month, not the last of the month.
Yeah.
Like you are not going to be able to drive on a state highway anywhere in this state without.
She better be making sure she's wearing underwears.
Yeah, wearing underwears. That balloon knot she's got there. The leaky balloon knot. Which I mean,
that arrest video of her is kind of ridiculous. Though she's like, "Well, can I at least get some clothes?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna bring you inside your house so you can get some clothes." I'm not even wearing any underwears.
Yeah. That Fall River accent. There it is.
It's like Fall River ton. It's more South Coast than closer north of that.
Dude, it really is. It really is.
And you know what? I don't blame her for not having an ass. She works a job where jobs where she is just sitting the whole time. She doesn't have to do a goddamn thing.
I mean, maybe she's I don't know what her ethnicity is, but maybe unlike everybody else from Taunton, she's not Brazilian, Portuguese, or Cape Verdean. Like maybe she's got that like English pancake butt, just like Mom used to make.
Maybe.
I mean, listen.
But I mean, would it kill you to do some squats? Is all I'm saying.
Maybe she did back in high school. Maybe she when she was an athlete. Who knows?
Perhaps.
Things. I mean, I'm trying to look up images of her here, but everything's court and neck up and.
Well, yeah. When it happened, she was 44, so she's like 47, 48 now.
No, she was born in 1980. So.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah. She was born in 1980, according to Wikipedia.
She's only 3 years older than me?
Yeah. Karen Read, born 1980.
No shit. I could have sworn in the doc it said she was born in like 77 or something.
See, birth date. August 31st, 1959. Nope, wrong. Karen Reed. Let's see. Oh, I clicked on a random Facebook link.
Not that one either.
She was born according to this, February 25th, 1980.
Okay.
So she just turned 45.
Yeah, so she's only 3 years older than me. Basically. Because I'll be 42 in a couple months. Jesus.
I mean, I'm trying to find any pictures of her like before the trial, like.
There's probably not much. I mean, she was just a normal person going about her everyday life like you and I.
No, I know, but somebody had to have done digging on her Instagram or something at some point, right?
But then again, maybe she just didn't have a whole, a big social media footprint.
Yeah, she did have like pretty high profile. It seemed like a pretty high profile, not high profile, but like.
Well, I'm sure she was on LinkedIn and some other professional social media.
Yeah, but there's got to be. I mean, come on, man. She had to have gone to like, Cabo for her 40th or something with all her girlfriends. Like, come on.
I mean, she seems the type to.
She's not. You're 45 and not married. You definitely got to have some thirst trap pictures somewhere.
Oh yeah, no kids too.
I want to see him. Yeah, no kids, not married. Like, come on, what's going on here on the internet?
Let's see how sad this ass actually was.
I mean, judging by her hair,
was good back then.
She seems like she's got decent hips. Like, I mean, she's definitely got. Looks like she has a fairly decent rack too to go with it. So I mean, we're critiquing all these things about this case. We're just trying to determine if you're hot or not, ma'am. Okay. Because that will help.
What the court did fail to determine.
She looks like she has like a runner's body. Just skinny legs. Skinny legs and
yeah, and that's but she's probably what, like 5'4".
I mean, average height of a woman, 5'4", 5'5", somewhere in there. So pretty decent.
I mean, I have no point of reference to know how tall she is, but.
No, I don't either. I mean, I'm just looking at some of these pictures, but she's always in heels, it seems. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like she's pretty short, but I don't know. I mean, maybe she's one of those like skinny, runs a lot, skinny legs, but she's got the fake tits. So, I mean, I don't know if they're fake or not, but look pretty decent from what.
No, like I said, if I were out and I saw her, I'd be like, yeah, would.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not tripping over my dick to go and see her. You know what I mean?
Listen. I'm not even grazing my brake pedal if I'm driving down the Ave. But if she approaches me at the bar, I'll buy her a drink and see what's going on.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because then it's like, well, I didn't even initiate this shit.
Right. I mean, that's even easier. I mean, I would buy her a drink and just, hey, what's going on? I don't know if that's how this works anymore. I've been out of the single game so long that I don't know if that's even what people do any longer.
You start doing the Macarena.
Yeah, right. This was popular. This was popular back when I was single.
Back in 1998.
Yeah. Do you remember the Spice Girls?
I sure do.
They were big. Yeah, I don't know. Like here's a picture of this dude like grabbing her boob. Looks pretty decent. Like I don't know. She looks all right. I don't know. I'm
not saying she's not attractive.
I'm just trying to determine here. Like it's so hard when everything she's in is like a vesty pantsuit. Like she's fucking Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton. Yeah.
You look like Mexican Hillary Clinton.
Even though she's probably not Mexican at all.
No, not at all. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if she's originally from or has roots in the Taunton area, there's a good chance she's Portuguese.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Portuguese, Brazilian, you know what I mean? Those, but they're usually heavy in the back and light in the rack.
They got
butts. Yeah, this looks opposite of that. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some more sleuthing on this.
She could be both. There are mixes where the English Irish side, if she has that in her, might overwhelm the Portuguese Brazilian side of the butt.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. It's like, you know, it's like when you meet an Irishman with a huge dick. You're like, whoa. We don't do that here, bro. What's going on?
Sir!
Okay. You have to ask you a few questions. All right, go get a DNA in me. Let's go.
Sir, it looks like you have a full, like, 2.5 inches.
Yeah, we're getting to the bottom of this one. No pun intended.
Oh, it's that famous director, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that guy. You know, really knew how to spank his monkey.
Yes.
I don't know how to spank his monkey. That was spitball. Come back. I can do better.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we've determined that Karen Reed is pretty hot. Do you think this has? I mean, honestly, Turtle Boy's been accused of it. You know, pretty privilege is a real thing, right? We talked about it a little while ago. Like that girl. Remember the girl on the airplane that was like, "I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker is not real."
Yep.
Like if that chick was ugly. She would have gotten roasted 100 ways. Like she would have been dragged over the coals and like, look at this crazy dumb bitch.
Yeah, it just turns out she was fucking smoking.
Because she's pretty fucking hot. Everybody's just like, oh, she was just having a rough day. Like, you know, what was going on with her? I can fix it.
Dude, if I were on the plane when that happened, when I saw that happen, with like the news of it breaking, I was like, if I were on the plane, I would have been like, it's okay, guys. I'm going to take her to the Chili's in the airport. We're going to have some margs. She's going to be fine.
Well, I'll get her calmed down. Don't worry.
Yeah, I got this.
Don't worry. I'm gonna listen. I know it's my flight too, and I gotta be home. My wife and kids are waiting for me. But you know what? I'm gonna take one for the team right here. I'm gonna take care of this nice girl. Okay? Don't worry about it. She's having a rough day.
Yep.
I'm a psychologist of sorts. You know, I can read these things.
And then you have to say what you just said. What we've all said at some point. I can fix her.
I can fix her. I
got this.
I can do this. But yeah, that's a real thing. Do you think that has anything to do like with people's opinions on this too? Because I feel like a lot of people, at least percentage-wise, I know it's very anecdotal, but a lot of people that I've talked to that think she's guilty are females. And I have to wonder if it's just because they're hating on her because either one, they think she's attractive and she's going to get away with it because she's attractive, or B, they don't think she's that attractive, but somebody that they admire or like as a male thinks she's kind of hot, and that pisses them off. So now they have to double down on her.
She's not even that fucking hot. She's fucking guilty anyway.
I actually think the latter of those two is more likely than the first. Like
their boyfriend or husband was like, damn, she's kind of hot. Like,
really? You think she's hot? What do you think of me? Yeah.
It's like I can think both. What the fuck?
Before I even knew what she looked like, I learned about at least the minor the bullet point details.
Yeah.
And I had already formed my opinion that she was innocent. And then I saw her and I was like, yeah, I mean would, but I'm not,
That's when you get the nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah.
Not bad, but I'm not gonna bust my ass.
She's definitely gonna end up on that Instagram page, the mug shotties.
Mm-hmm.
Shotties, SHAWTYS.
Yes.
Just all the hot chicks getting mug shotted. It's pretty fun page actually.
And every other comment is, I can totally fix her.
Oh, absolutely. That is the king of I can fix her pages.
Oh, she only got caught with like half a kilo of meth.
It's like that.
It's not even a full kilo.
Did you see the one about that girl? She was like a hitman for the Mexican cartel. She was like a femme fatale. Like she was literally her job was to seduce men and kill them. And it's like she murdered her boyfriend and like two of his friends or something like that. And like she was being arrested. And she has like this whole like rap sheet. And it's like you know damn well there's some dude out there being like, I can fix her. Let me have a chance.
It's only because she hasn't had this dick yet.
Yeah. She ain't know about this yet. Yeah.
That'll fix her.
I'll fix her real good because she ain't proper booked. Wow. I don't know why.
That'll give her what for.
But yeah, it's that's the king of it. It's just like it's always there. There's always one guy out there that's like, nah, I can fix it. I'm telling you. Let me have a chance. I know she's crazy, but I can crazy her. It's like, dude, you can't. No one can crazy. That's
Hear me out. I know she stabbed her boyfriend while he was like in the bathtub.
Yeah. All right, guys, listen. I know she murdered her ex-boyfriend and probably several other people. But hear me out.
Have you seen that ass?
Have you seen what we're working with? It's like you can't find an equally attractive woman that is not a got a better like than a 50-50 chance she's gonna end up killing you in your sleep. It's like ugh. I mean, could I? Yeah, but the danger's there.
Yeah, I'm asking you as a friend, would it not be worth it?
Just to say I did it once. You know?
Yeah, and then
like,
she kills me, whatever.
Yeah. And then it's like they try to break up with her 6 months later, and then they realize, like, oh no, I can't.
Oh, she has all my bank account
This is what my friends were
information.
worrying about. This is what all my friends warned me about. Fuck, why didn't I listen? It's like, I'm gonna end up dead. It's like, yeah, we told you.
Oh, why did I make her my main beneficiary? And we were together for a week.
But no, you had to be Austin Powers over here and be like, I like to live dangerously. How's that working out for you? Huge. Not so good.
Yeah, probably not good.
Yeah, you're a dead man walking, son. Anyway. But yeah, I think the pretty privilege thing is funny because like a lot of women don't like her for some reason.
Yeah. Well,
At
on
least
the
the ones
other
I've talked to.
other side of the coin, there's a lot of women that are supportive of her.
I was gonna say it does. I'm not gonna say that. I'd say the majority of women I've talked to think she's innocent. But the ones that think she's guilty, I'm like, why do you really think she's guilty? Do you actually think she's guilty, or do you want her to be guilty because you like your boyfriend?
Because you're like that fucking bitch.
That fucking bitch. Oh my god.
She's got no ass and a Fall River accent.
What are those eyebrows? And Jesus Christ, lady, like, what are you using your hair? Get some Pantene Pro V, will you? God.
She got arrested and wasn't wearing any underwears. What the fuck?
I bet she has friends named Paula and Donna and gets coffee and hot dogs.
Coffee and hot dogs.
In their underwearless outfits. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry. He's getting away from anything. Usually better than this, but yeah. This is what happens when I don't drink alcohol.
Oh yeah, sure. Blame it on sobriety.
Yeah,
You
really.
fucking cunt.
Sobriety sucks. So boring and stupid.
Well,
Use
you
all my
sound like a
jokes.
smart Jim McGonigal.
All right, maybe I'll booze then.
Yeah, if you need to.
No. I'm kidding. I'm abstaining from alcohol. For a couple months. Just for like my training regimen reasons and.
No, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, I got a pinched nerve in my back and my tricep. My right tricep doesn't work right now, so I'm trying to get the inflammation down to see if that helps. And it's this whole big thing, you know.
You should try slapping it with the summer sausage.
You know. I've heard that works.
On the try, yeah.
Heard that works.
Just give it a good slap with the summer sausage.
Good slap, yeah.
Ooh, a good slap. It goes.
Oh my god, love it.
What
else did we want to talk? Did we cover the Karen? We got more Karen Reed stuff.
I think we.
I know you wanted to keep it to a reasonable amount of time tonight. So
we could talk about one more thing.
Yeah, let's do it. What do you want? Which one do you want to do?
Well, I think what did we have? We talked Karen Reed. I think we're up to date on Karen Reed. Our opinions about her and the whole thing is out there.
Yep, and the trial starts tomorrow, so that'll give us some good material for next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
I'll be following it like daily, at least.
I can only imagine. I'll be getting nightly
reading
updates at the dinner table. I'm sure.
Well, good. Yes, your wife.
Which is good.
Also,
I'm not saying that like an asshole. I actually want them. I actually like that my wife updates me because then it prevents. I don't have to listen to it.
Yeah.
I can just get the information from her, read some Turtle Boy tweets, and like I said, I've already pretty much made up my mind anyway. So it's really just a matter of how corrupt are these corrupt people? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's what I'm most interested in finding
one
out.
other thing too, I wanted to make a point of the Karen Reed thing. Do you also find it amusing? And I know hypocrisy is like a thing that most people don't feel anymore because they're just so numb to it. But you also find it super funny that a lot of the same people that are like, she's guilty, she did it, are like the same, like the fuck the police crowd. Like, do you notice a blending of those two? Like my ultra, like a lot of my hyper liberal friends that are like, the police shouldn't have guns and get rid of the cops and they kill innocent people and they do all these terrible things and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and they're all bastards.
Yeah, and they're all ACAB and blah, 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 all cops suck. And then they see this case and they're like, nope, she's guilty. And you're like, wait, you don't think the cops are setting this girl up? They're like, no, she's a middle-class white woman. They wouldn't bother. Like, okay. I get it. But if she was a poor black woman, it would be a big scandal.
And that's racist of them to say, because that implies that it's not worth the time to do it to a middle-class white woman, but what's the benefit of doing it to underclass or lower-class minority?
Because it keeps us enslaved, man. It's how they keep us down. They don't want us to have our 40 acres and a mule, man. We want our reparations.
But that's the point. They don't understand that what they're saying is actually more racist than what they're speaking out against.
Trust me, I know. The most racist people I know are middle-class white women. And the second most racist people I know are middle-class white men.
Yep.
Actually, I think I'd probably put black guys above that. Most of the black guys I know are really racist. Even my friends. they all loathe me to an extent. Kidding. But no, I think middle class white people are the most racist sect. Middle class liberal white people are the most racist sect of America right now. Because they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean voter ID? Blacks don't know how to get IDs. You're like, I'm pretty sure most of my black friends get driver's licenses, dude. They renew them. Every couple of years, no problems.
I'm in favor of them having it. Like, everyone should have some form of ID.
They get credit cards. They've applied for mortgages, bought houses. Lived life. They're pretty smart. They can figure it out. I don't think they need you to guide them and tell them how to do everything. But
and they're not actually complaining right now.
Also that too.
Yeah, as long as they're shit, but that goes across all the board of whatever your melanin level is. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you could be white and be poor.
Well, it's crazy how trust me, I know. But we know plenty of them.
Yeah.
Some we went to high school with. Some of them tried to burn down their parents' houses not that long ago.
I remember.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it's the whole like shit. I had a thought and I lost it. Fuck. Whatever. I don't know. Middle class white people are super racist and they don't care. They just don't give a shit. It's just like, nope, fuck you. I'm a racist piece of shit. You can just fucking deal with it, bro. Because I'm an empath. And empathy is king.
Yeah, you lack empathy, Joey. You need to
say that. Why don't you
check some empathy into your balls, and then maybe you'll give a shit about people that just want to leech off you.
Maybe you should inject some empathy into your veins, like Carmelo Anthony injected that knife into that poor white kid's heart at a track meet in Texas.
Needlessly. And now,
needless is not the word. Was that the other thing we were going to talk about? Or was it something else?
No, we can. I think that's bigger than the direwolf thing.
Yeah.
Although that's great.
The direwolf thing the direwolf thing. I'll just say this real quick. I really loathe the fact that places like these people who recreated the direwolves and Boston Dynamics who are making robots that can't be destroyed. It's like, did you guys never watch Jurassic Park or Terminator? Like, can you just fucking leave the shit alone, please? Like, I get it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Progression and all this other stuff, but like,
I'm here
Guys,
for it though, dude. I want to see it. Like,
come on, man. Like, it's something that's been extinct for 10,000 years. Maybe we should just go ahead and leave it extinct.
Well,
I don't know. You know, I'm pretty sure this guy Darwin had this theory on it. And whatever.
Well, to be fair, it's not a complete and pure direwolf species.
It's half
They had-
which makes it worse.
Well, they had to. I don't know which breed they had to.
All right,
that they did
toddlers.
essentially have to crossbreed it with, but they did.
Yeah,
So it's not a true dot, but I mean it's a close. It's a half, at the very least, and
Like, don't direwolves get really big? Isn't that their thing?
they back in when they were dominant, our ancestors were. We weren't Homo sapiens back then, but you know, you go far back enough, we're linked to them. But yeah, our people back then would be actively hunted by them. They are well, in comparison to hominids, were a lot shorter back then too than what we are now. What's considered the average height.
I'd imagine the average height back then was probably like, what,
But
4,
these
5,
were
5.
still probably wolves with, like, you know, they're standing on all fours from the ground to, like, the arch of their back or head, if they're standing upright completely. Like, head standing up while still on all fours, probably, like, 7 feet.
Jesus Christ. Like, I've
Yeah,
been
they were
looking
big.
up at that thing.
They were alpha apex predators.
Yeah, so let's not recreate. Like, come on, man. Like, I've seen this movie before. It ends with Samuel L. Jackson losing the goddamn arm, and Muldoon gets snuffed. Okay, even though he has the best shotgun ever. Like, this movie does not end well. I don't know. I'm a big fan of leaving the past in the past and leaving extinct things extinct. But
well, it very much is like Ian Malcolm. Like you spent so much time thinking that why that we can, but yeah, I'm fucking it up.
We should.
Exactly.
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know,
Yes.
Life finds a way.
Finds a way.
You know, I don't know. The direwolf thing bugs me out because, and again, it's like you see these, you know what these things were capable of. I get it. Like, you want to, and it's not always just about like what you're creating. It's about the way you're creating it. So I get that part of it. Like, you know, the progression in science and medical science and things that are going to come from this are probably all really beneficial and helpful to humankind and all that jazz. But like. I don't know, man. Like, it's bad enough. Like, I gotta go out in my yard. Like, you know, if my neighbor's pit bull gets out, I'm like, God damn it. Well, I either gotta go jam my thumb in its butthole and, you know, potentially lose a hand, or shoot it. You know what I mean? Like, that's bad enough. Like, then we're gonna go recreating these 7-foot tall fucking wolves that are gonna, you know, God forbid one gets out and starts breeding with like coyotes. Now we got like these wicked, smart, aggressive coyote wolf thing hybrids and you know.
Well, yeah, because they are going to be raised in captivity.
For now.
But who's to say something doesn't happen?
Until Newman gets paid off to steal the DNA from the lab and then, you know, falls down a river or something.
He drops that can of Barbasol.
Newman. Dotson. Nobody cares.
Jambalaya.
Such a good movie. I'm actually looking forward to the new one coming out. That comes out. This was Scarlett Johansson. Comes out this summer.
Dude, the last one I saw was the first Jurassic World.
Was that the one?
And I thought it was okay.
Is that the one where the chick outruns the T-Rex with the flare and high heels?
Well, it's it was the first one with Chris Pratt, and it was
that one was pretty good up until that part. And I was like,
it was okay, but it was just like what the newer Star Wars was, where it was basically a 1-to-1 remake of A New Hope, but this was like a 1-to-1 of the first Jurassic Park, but with different gimmicks.
Yeah.
But it was the same scenes.
And we got a super smart dinosaur.
Yeah, this one can like camouflage itself.
This one can think. What?
Because we put like human and gecko like DNA in it for some reason. We thought that was a good idea.
It's like, Jesus Christ, did Dr. Fauci make this fucking dinosaur? Like, let's make this thing as legal as possible.
Yeah, we also wanted to make it as big and mad and angry as possible. Like,
but it still can't beat a T-Rex. The good old T-Rex is still the king, even though this thing has like opposable thumbs and long arms and should, for all intents and purposes, be the most indestructible monster of all time. But you know,
well, really, it was the mosasaur that ended it. The big aquatic one.
Yeah.
Well, the T-Rex pushes it in over the water, and then it was like an alley-oop, perfectly timed.
Yeah. Right. It's like you might be smarter than both of us, but our two brains combined make up one pretty decent brain, buddy.
Yeah, because it'll eventually be revealed that they are all like cybernetically linked, digitally into like a dinosaur hive mind.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, they can communicate like the raptors now. You're like, oh, here we go. It's like
yeah, exactly. They put that raptor communication into like a microchip, put it in all the dinosaurs.
Now it's like, what are we?
I just wrote the second movie out of the new ones.
We're gonna get to that shed that's 150 meters away. That's where the Wi-Fi is. If we shut off the Bluetooth, we can't communicate. It's like, oh god! It's like my brother's golf club says like GPS tracking in it and stuff. So like it tracks like your fucking club speed and all this other crap. And I'm like, really? Your fucking golf club needs batteries now? Like that's fucking insane. And
you should be able to just tell if your swing is bad if it's bad.
Well, that's what he did. Every time he would swing it, like slice or something. Dude, you forgot to turn your club on. Stupid. You're mad dumb. What are you thinking?
I got that's like wearing a Fitbit with a thing that has like it's a feature that's specific for jacking off.
Yeah.
Like I gotta min-max my fucking goons, bro. Like
yeah. This one doesn't measure steps. It measures strokes.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't. Well, we can skip the other thing for now, I guess, because we'll just do the direwolves thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. These people, these agencies, and all these think tanks and stuff, they come up with all these great ideas. They do all this great work, and then somehow, some way, it all ends up backfiring on us. Like the Boston Dynamics robots thing, I'm like, I can't fucking believe you. Like the audacity. You have to have to just be like, look at this. You can hit it with a car and it doesn't even get knocked over. I'm like, that's fucking terrible. And then they're like, look, we're going to teach you how to shoot guns. Why would you do that?
Funnily enough, yeah. I'm wearing a Terminator-themed shirt right now.
Yeah, it's like, well, we can send these automated robots over to Iraq, and they can fight the war. Imagine a soldier that never gets tired and never has to sleep or eat. And it's like you're literally quoting the fucking movie.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the flip side of this coin.
James Cameron claims that the idea for Terminator came to him in a dream where he thought that it was a future where machines took over and, wiped out humanity. I believe him to a degree, but I also do believe he took some influence from Philip K. Dick, specifically robot sheep. Do androids dream of robotic sheep? Which became the movie Blade Runner. As far as film adaptation. So I think he did take some influence from that.
Yep.
But his idea of the singularity, it's also derives from Blade Runner. The idea that these robots become sentient, self-aware. That's the singularity in Terminator.
And then you pair that with the fact when Elon had those super AI computers and they were talking to each other and they started forming their own language so the humans couldn't understand it. You're like, they had to cut them off. I'm like, yeah, that's a really terrifying fucking thought right there. That was actually a thing that happened and is a plausible possible outcome to what? Because what happens then? All of a sudden, again, it's like when you program, AI is like a super dangerous thing because even though all of its benefits, like I don't know if you watch the Fat Fellas on Instagram. where it's just like all these wicked fat AI black guys doing like crazy shit.
Oh yes, I've seen those.
They're
hilarious.
so fucking funny, but the AI in them is incredible. Like the AI imagery and like the stuff they do, like the voices and everything else. It's incredible. It's incredible work. And AI is for as beneficial as it is, like you've got to know at some point it's going to be used against us. And you know whether that's
only a matter of time.
Whether it's duping people into thinking something that is real that isn't real. Like when are we going to get to the point of like it becoming so hyper realistic that you can't tell the difference unless it's noted? And then what? Like what do we do? Like I don't know. But like when AI starts becoming self-aware and starts talking to itself and making it, and you tell AI like, hey, I want you to solve climate change, and AI is like, okay, I can do that. Launches all the nukes and eliminates human beings. Boom, there's climate change solved. You were the problem.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, yeah, that's the long term.
I guess we didn't think that through. When you're like, really? I don't know.
There's so many good works of fiction that are based on that concept. Like we already mentioned, Terminator, of course, Blade Runner. But also, there's a short story that was also made into a video game in the 90s. It's like a point-and-click game, so most people wouldn't like it these days. But
no.
The story itself is so fucking bleak. It's
Yeah,
about an AI that takes over the planet, and then it wipes out everybody, and then there's only 5 people left on Earth, and they're being tortured and kept alive and tortured for eternity by this AI, and they're all fucked up individuals, and yeah, it's a completely bleak story. It's called I Have No Mouth, But I Must Scream. It's it's a short story, so if you want to read it, it's very short, but the lore that goes back into it, if you want to dig deeper, is pretty vast.
Yeah, well, I should take a look at that because we've talked about it on this show. It's like I don't think we ever we never thought that like Demolition Man was going to be a documentary by the time we hit our 40th birthday.
I mean, we're by the time I'm 48, we'll probably be on the 3-shell ass wiping system.
Yeah, definitely. Like there'll be a thing in your house giving you tickets for swearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's amazing. And listen, I'm a huge fan. Like obviously, scientific advancements need to happen in order for humans to advance, and so on and so forth. Like we can't get away from it. But man, is it fucking scary when you think of like the direction, how rapidly we're going down this path now. Like where I feel like it used to take shit like 5-10 years for it to become like pretty mainstream. It's like I feel like AI just came out like 2 days ago, and it's like boom, here it is. It's on everybody's phone now. And you're like fuck. This is just too quick, man. It's too quick.
Yeah, I appreciated it when it was more of a delay. Unless you saw it happen live, or
where somebody could where there was like beta testing going on, that we all got to see, and say like, that works. Do we really need it? Is it really worth the risk? Like, what is the downside? Like, I feel like we don't even ask ourselves anymore like what the downside is. These companies come up with something and they just give you all the upside, and you're like, that sounds fucking great. And then like,
why wouldn't anybody want that? And then
you start thinking about it. You're like, wait a minute. Well, let's see. If I was a terrorist, what would I do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start like, don't, who would do that? Like, bruh. Like, that's like asking, like, why would somebody lie on the internet? Because they can, you dick.
It's because it's the easiest place to lie on. Like,
because it's human nature. First of all, like, second of all, like, Jesus Christ, is this your first day? Like, I don't know. I just feel like the naiveness of it all. And the way that people are just so shrouded in their own like personal bubbles now. Like I don't think we've ever been more connected yet less connected at the same time. Like everyone is so hyper connected through social media with so many different people and outlets and companies and everything else. Like everything is literally right at your fingertips. Yet interpersonal communication is dead.
Yep. It's absolutely cause and effect with those two things.
I mean, and it's so blatantly obvious too. Like, there's a reason why you have all these kids that are like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old right now that cannot hold a fucking conversation.
They have no social skills because
they're like, what do you mean? I don't
looking at a screen all day.
Yeah, I can't just type it on my iPad and it tells me what to do. What the fuck? Like, what do you mean I gotta talk to people? Like, that's stupid.
Like you gotta go to the fucking library. Ask the librarian.
Yeah, you figure out that Dewey Decimal System right fucking now, you little chomo.
Fucking better, because guess what? Once you figure it out, it makes perfect sense.
It really does. But fuck you. In the meantime, it's fucking hard. But no, it's just, I don't know. I'm a huge fan of technology. Obviously, I love tech. I love everything that comes with it. I'm a tech head to the core. But man, I just get so nervous about things like, you read these things about the way that they can track you in your house just using your Wi-Fi signal. Like, we don't even have to have fucking fancy instruments now. Like, the shit they need, do whatever they want is already here. And we've invited it into our homes under the guise of convenience and advancement and all this other shit. But yet we never stop. Again, it's the Ian Malcolm thing. Like, we never stop to ask if we should.
All of our things are listening to us at all times. Like,
and that's been going on
for
a long time.
Yes, for years. Like,
and
it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, I'm putting my phone down. I was hanging out with Paul, and I just started talking about a certain product.
Yep.
And then it just came up, like on Facebook. As soon as I opened just a blank Google search page, boom, first thing right there. Like,
I'm convinced that our thoughts aren't even private anymore. Because there's been shit that I've only thought about, not even said out loud. Like, I'm by myself and I'm not thinking about it. I'm not searching for it. I just think in my head, you know what I could use? And then next thing you know, like, I'm scrolling on Facebook and boom, there it is. And I'm like, nah, fuck you, nah.
I mean, that happens to me sometimes when I'm listening to music, like on shuffle on my Spotify. I'll be thinking about a song, and then it'll sometimes pop up randomly.
But that's like something that's within your wheelhouse. Like, why would an oven rack with a wire rack, like a built-in wire rack, come up on my Facebook feed? I've never even said it out loud. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, that's very
not
specific.
something that I'm actively thinking of, like, or I'm actively talking about. Like, you know what I really want is, I really wish they had this really specific style of fucking oven rack. You know what I mean, bro? And I don't say that to anybody. I'm just thinking, like, in my head, like, that would be cool to have. Maybe. I wonder if that would make my bacon. I wonder if that would make my bacon crispier. Because then you get both sides. I don't know. But then you think about it, and you're like, and then all of a sudden it's on your phone. And you're like, fuck, dude. Like, nah, you need to chill the fuck out, bro.
Yeah, you know what? No, I'm not buying this. This is weird now.
Yeah. Now you just made it weird. Fuck you. You should have waited 3 days.
Yeah, what the fuck? Don't be so eager.
You're being really clingy right now, and I just can't. You're giving me the ick.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Chad, we'll leave it there because I know you gotta get going.
Yes, sir. But shit, I think we did a good job tonight in going over.
I thought so.
I'm
excited to talk more Karen Reed next week. I really am, because I feel like that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, things will be happening, and I'm gonna keep up with it daily, at least by reading stuff, and I'll watch like highlights when I can.
Yeah, like I said, I'll be getting the nightly updates from my wife. My work schedule's pretty tits this week. So pretty stoked on that. But yeah. I'll be paying attention to it just so we can have something to talk about next Monday night.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna go race fake race cars at Talladega, which will be occupying most of my nights for the rest of the week. So
gonna be driving fast and turning to the left.
You dumb bitch, Danica. Dip some Vagisil.
Well, thanks everybody for watching, and until next time.
Appreciate y'all. Peace out.
Later.